CBS Sports HQ presented by Bonobos. Look good, play good, repeat. Cameron Smith took the lead from Cameron Young as the Open Championship continued at St. Andrews on Friday. Smith shooting an 8 under par 64 to move him to 13 under and put him atop the leaderboard. He had 5 birdies in his first 9 holes, then had a birdie and an eagle. On the back 9, he's aiming to become the first Aussie to win the Open in over 6 decades. As we take a look at the leaderboard, Smith on top by 2 shots over Cameron Young, who was the round 1 leader coming into Friday. Rory McIlroy making a charge up the board. He's at 10 under, tied for third with Victor Hovland, who also made a little bit of a charge. Dustin Johnson was the clubhouse leader earlier in the day today, but he is now alone in 5th at 9 under par. Now, one name you won't see on page 1, Tiger Woods. Tiger shooting a 3 over 75 to move to 9 under. He is going to miss the cut. Afterwards, Tiger said he's not done with competitive golf, but did acknowledge that the clock is ticking.
Well, I'm not retiring from the game, but I just don't know if I will be physically able to play back here again when it comes back around. I'll be able to play future British Opens, yes, but 8 years' time, I doubt if I'll be competitive at this level. It's a struggle just playing just the 3 events I played this year. That in itself was something I'm very proud of. I was able to play these 3 events considering what has transpired. So, hopefully we do more hard work and give myself some more chances next year to play a few more events.
And for more on round 2, let's bring in CBS Sports golf analyst Kyle Porter, who's been killing it in our coverage of the Open this week. Kyle, let's start with Tiger here. You followed him today, and we saw the ovation that he got walking up 18. What was that atmosphere like, and how emotional was it for you to see how it affected Tiger?
Yeah, it was, I was talking to somebody about this afterward, and it was, the atmosphere was incredible, and it felt like you were watching history unfold in the moment. There's not that many moments you get out here like that. A lot of it is, well, so-and-so made a birdie and there were some bogeys and they shot 72 and they shot 68. And there's a sort of monotony to a lot of this. And that was like, you realize in the moment what was happening and you were trying to take it all in and also take notes and take video. And there was a lot going on, but I thought the coolest part, JSL, was there were fans hanging out of the windows of all these sort of hotels and condos and buildings that kind of surround 18, both in the back and kind of off to the right when you're on the tee. And that, to me, and people are kind of milling about in those places throughout the week, but every window was full, just jammed with people. Every balcony had a ton of people on it watching probably the most photographed moment in the history of the Old Course and potentially in the history of professional golf, which is Tiger, playing what was maybe his last round ever and finishing up on 18. So it was the one other thing I'll note, there was some bagpipes playing in the background. I couldn't tell if they were on the street behind 18 or if they were off in the distance, but it felt like if you scripted a movie, you would have forgotten the bagpipes. But for some reason, they whoever was playing them remembered to play them when Tiger was coming up 18. So it was a very just incredible moment to be a part of and to get to witness here at the Old Course today.
And you posted some great pictures on social media for the people that are following you as you are over there covering the Open for us. And as you mentioned, it was one of those moments here in our newsroom. Everybody stopped what they were doing, kind of watched the TVs as Tiger made that walk up 18. What about his play, though, Kyle? Let's talk about this. He had a better day today than Thursday, but he misses the cut. Where is he still struggling with his game at this point?
Well, he struggled everywhere this week, so he didn't hit the ball that well. He started out bad, made 6 on 1 on Thursday. That's not a good way to start. That's a very easy hole. But I think really, and we were talking about this with Amanda earlier today, is his speed on the greens, on and around the greens. He did not have good speed, had a bunch of just sloppy putts, just stuff that, Tiger's the best lag putter of all time, and this is a great lag putting golf course, right? That's kind of what you have to do is lag putts from 50 feet, from 30 feet, from 80 feet sometimes. And his putting was abysmal. And, when you combine that with some, a tee to green game that wasn't as sharp as usual, I thought the overall theme is that he wasn't sharp, JSL. And I think some of that is just a result of not playing very much tournament golf for the last 20 months. I mean, he's played nine rounds now since the 2020 Masters. So when you play that infrequently, you're going to struggle when the name of the game is touch, as it is around a place like the Old Course at St. Andrews.
Well, you heard him talk about it. He hopes to keep playing. Certainly, the major schedule for 2023 is already out, so he's probably looking towards the Masters in April. But let's talk about this leaderboard. Cameron Smith, 8 under 64, shoots the round of the day. He's 13 under at the top. Kyle, are you surprised to see this from him, or has this been coming?
I'm a little surprised. He's fallen off a little bit since he won the Players' Championship in March. He's been driving the ball really poorly. And this is it's not a super tight golf course, but it's also a place where you kind of got to drive it decently to put yourself in position to score, right? And you have to, the term that we've been talking about this week, you have to control the ball in the air so you can control it on the ground. And I didn't necessarily see that coming from Cam Smith. I think the other thing to kind of go along with that, he's like outside the top 25 in strokes gained tee to green, but he's first by a wide margin in putting. So there's a couple things going on there. One, Cam Smith's one of the best putters in the world. He might keep that up throughout the end of the week and win the Open Championship with his putter. But he's got 3 guys behind him that are in the top 3 in terms of strokes gained tee to green. That's Cameron Young, that's Rory McIlroy, and that's Victor Hovland. Those guys are hitting the ball, at least numbers-wise, a lot better than Cam Smith is right now. So I think that's going to be one of the kind of intriguing storylines that I'm looking at going into Saturday.
Yeah, setting up to be an interesting weekend, rounds 3 and 4. Dustin Johnson, 5 under 67. He had the clubhouse round of the day, and until, of course, we got Cam Smith. He's 9 under now as DJ. How does he look going into the weekend for you?
I think he looks good. He's another guy. He did it on Thursday a lot with the putter, but he kind of bounced back tee to green and hit the ball a little bit better or actually a lot better on Friday. He's hitting the ball better than Cam Smith, and I think the thing for me about him, JSL, is he's been in this position before. He shot 65-69 back in 2015 to lead that Open Championship outright, and we asked him today after his round, what'd you take away? He shot 75-75 on the weekend to finish T48 or T49, somewhere around there. And we said, what'd you learn about yourself on that weekend to kind of take into this weekend at the Old Course? And he said he didn't even remember playing that, or he didn't even remember what happened that weekend. So clearly he doesn't have, he's long flushed that one from the memory bank. I think that DJ's sort of brilliant, like his brilliant simplicity, I guess I will say, is it can go either way on this golf course, honestly. It can be helpful because there's so much nuance and so many details that you can sort of worry about and concern yourself with. But then if you're not smart enough, when it comes time to hit the right shot, if you don't take everything into account, then you can hit some really bad shots. I think I lean more toward the former, where DJ is so good and just doesn't worry about trouble and doesn't outthink himself in any situation. He seemingly always hits the right shot, even if he maybe hasn't taken into account all the trouble that's surrounding him. So I think that actually works to his advantage a little bit at the Old Course here.
And we see him sitting at 5th at 9 under. All right, Rory McIlroy, you mentioned him, 4 under 68 in round 2, 10 under in 3rd place. What's your confidence in Rory in terms of pulling this out?
Yeah, I think that's a good question because he's been right there at the PGA Championship and U.S. Open. He backed up at the PGA. He was first after round 1, then T5 after round 2. At the U.S. Open, he was second after round 1, and then he was, I believe, T4 and one back going into round 2. So I thought what he did on Friday here I thought it was impressive. Just to kind of keep the pedal down a little bit. You would like to see him birdie 18 after he made a 3 on 17. One of the great threes that I've seen him make. I think that's the first time he's ever birdied the road bowl here at St. Andrews. Haven't played it, I guess, a ton in Open Championships, but the 3 he made on 17 was spectacular. You wanted to see him back it up to get into a tie with Cam Young. But listen, I think the thing that I've been impressed by with Rory this week, physically, obviously he's gifted, and his game is it's as good as I think it's been in the last several years. I was talking to somebody in his camp today, and they said they were playing together last week, and it's man, he is just flushing it, like just as good as he can hit it. And I think that's, you've seen that play out, not just this week, but in the past several months. But the thing I've been impressed by this week, JSL, is mentally, it seems like he's in a pretty good place. He doesn't seem drained emotionally. He doesn't seem drained mentally. He seems ready to take on the old course and what's going to be a formidable field this week. And I will say, he's the crowd favorite. He's the one that everybody here wants to win. Him and Tiger passed each other in the first fairway today. And as soon as Tiger sort of finished up, the tournament became all about Rory as it relates to kind of who the fans were rooting for. So I thought that was intriguing. That's probably always the case at an Open Championship. This is the first one I've been to kind of see it in person. So he's going to be the guy that everybody's backing going into Saturday and Sunday, which should be a ton of fun as we watch it play out.
Well, and for those fans, the last 2 times Rory was 10 under after 36 holes at a major, he ended up going on to win it. World number 1, Scottie Scheffler, 4 under 68. He's 8 under coming in. He said he doesn't get looked at as the number 1 player in the world. I mean, what do you make of what you've seen from him through 2 rounds?
Well, he's been, I think he's right. And I think there are a bunch of different reasons for that. And some of it we talked about, I think we talked about this on the First Cut podcast, maybe on HQ on Thursday, is just that everything happens so quickly that it's almost like, wait a second, Scottie Scheffler, okay, let's learn as much as we can about him in a short amount of time. But then, there's been a lot of other stuff that's been going on in the golf world too. So I think people have sort of just forgotten about, the actual world rankings and actual golfers and, everything that's going on there. So he's been great. He's a big game hunter. Obviously won the Masters, played great at the U.S. Open, almost contended at least to win that. Missed a cut at the PGA Championship, but he's been awesome this week. And I think he's obviously a great driver of the ball, and he's hit the ball pretty well this week. But the thing that impresses me most about him, JSL, is you sort of like John Rahm. You look at him and the first thing you think isn't, oh, that guy's got great hands or he can get up and down from anywhere. And yet he gets up and down from everywhere. That's how he won the Masters. And if he goes on to win the Open Championship this weekend, I think, his short game and his creativity around the greens will be a big reason why. 5
shots back, T6 with Tyrrell Hatton at 8 under par. Some big names are going to miss the cut. One of those is Colin Morikawa, 1 over 73 in the second round for him. So that puts him at 1 over, basically meaning he's going to miss the cut by a single stroke. How disappointing is that for Morikawa?
Well, I think it's immensely disappointing. You never want to be the Open Championship or the reigning Open champion and come in and miss the cut the next year. I followed his group a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. He just wasn't hitting good shots. He was double crossing himself a little bit. He just when Morikawa's on, everything is just on the money. It's just on the button, and he just hits the same shot seemingly for 72 straight holes. And he wasn't doing that when I was watching him. I don't know if it's, I know he's trying to kind of hit it both ways now instead of just hitting that little baby fade that he's got that won him 2 major championships. I think his the evolution of his swing and kind of where it goes from here will be one of the interesting storylines for maybe the rest of the year and even going into the major championships next year.
Kyle, you've been an all-star for us this week. I mean, it's long days, short nights. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for hopping on. Our Kyle Porter at the Open, covering things as round 2 finishes up. They'll be discussing it on the First Cut podcast. Kyle's going to be a part of that. DFS betting advice and round-by-round recaps. Rick Gaiman, Kyle Porter, Mark Immelman, Greg Ducharme, all putting in the hours this week in coverage of the Open from St. Andrews. Download and follow the First Cut wherever you get your podcast audio.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.